Now, the newest female rapper in town, Diana B, went ahead and shocked a lot of us yesterday when she released a video going ahead into detail about an alleged rape attempt at the hands of Willy Paul. Now, in this video, she went ahead and spoke about it, where she said at some point there was some DVD shop in the estate or in the neighborhood. She had gone over there to go and buy DVD, and then that's when she met Willy Paul for the first time. While they were there at the shop, he was there flirting with her, being really aggressively trying to get her to talk to him and basically hitting on her, and she kept on refusing, saying that she did not know who he was and she wasn't interested. Later on, it seems like he was being too boisterous and causing too much of a commotion inside the shop that he suggested, let's go and discuss this further in the car, to which she agreed to. So once they entered the car, he immediately locked the doors and started driving away. Now, apparently, according to her, this all allegedly happened where she was driven to his house or his estate, I'm not sure where exactly, and in the parking lot, he then tried to get her to leave the car to go up to his house. She refused to go to the house, and it's that point that he allegedly attempted to rape her. But once she started to cause a commotion and started screaming and everything, he was able to stop, and she took her chance to go ahead and open the door and run away.
Oh my God.
After this, Willy Paul went ahead and gave a response to this, both in written and in verbal form. But I can only talk about the verbal because, the written form, because the verbal format does a lot to take into account. But basically what he said is, I have never assaulted anyone sexually. I have never engaged in a non-consensual sex with anyone. I was raised by a woman, and I owe my whole career to a woman who held my hand when I was naive on diapers in the industry, okay? And then he later on went to say, I was not surprised when one of my many enemies, D, identified this vulnerability and capitalized on it, all aimed at destroying me and my career at my lowest points in life. She has pulled the gender card, and that is the very card every woman pulls to destroy a modern, successful man. She wants to grow in her newfound music career, and otherwise, why would she show up with a fictitious allegations? And she resorted to using my name to scale the heights by pulling me down. And basically, he just said that he didn't do it. The only problem is when it comes to both of them, there are so many holes in this story. And for me, it's all about timing, timing, timing. According to Diana, this happened years ago.
Yeah.
And even her herself, she wasn't able to tell her husband until 3 years after. After what point, I don't know. So I don't know whether this happened 3 years ago, whether it happened 5 years ago, whether it happened 6, there's no time frame, but it happened years ago. And at this point is when she decided to go ahead and tell us about the situation. When now she's a brand new rapper, and this song was released by Willy Paul. And this seems to look like, in the eyes of just the common wananchi, like this is retaliation. So this is where she's getting a lot of backlash, because timing is everything. If this indeed did happen, why is it that she's speaking out now? Is it possible she could have spoken out about this earlier, before she was a rapper, before Willy Paul went ahead and did the diss track? Would she have said this if Willy Paul never did the diss track? There's so many questions out there. Now we have another gospel artist who goes by the name of Nika the Queen, who went and said that she actually was there during the ordeal that many years ago. And according to her, she says they lived in the same estates as Diana, and she saw Diana and Willy Paul in the same car outside of her home in the parking lot, and they seemed to be blasting music and enjoying each other's company. Not necessarily that they were in a relationship, but she didn't seem as if she was in distress. They just seemed to be listening to music and enjoying each other's company. So this is now a third person who says they were also in this situation because they lived around the same area as Diana. I don't know.
That's conflicting information from what she told us, because in the video, in the very emotional video that she put out, she says that she did not know Willy Paul. He was just a stranger who walked in. People recognized him. Yeah, it's Willy Paul. And he started getting touchy-feely with her. Howards. It was someone she did not know. But another account from Nika the Queen says, these guys were very touchy-feely, okay? They seemed to be familiar with each other. So that's why we're taking this with a grain of salt.
Yeah.
Because you can't, I want to believe you. I don't want to be the person who dismisses a rape claim, attempted rape claim. But at the same time, we have to take it with a grain of salt because there are so many loopholes in this story.
I think we have to I want all the facts. So I don't want to say anybody is guilty without having all the facts.
Yeah, because there are 3 different scenarios in which you can take the story. First of all, they are actually trying to have a rivalry in public to be able to promote both of them. Because this is one scenario. Scenario number 2, one is bitter that the other person, did a funny thing. Because this all started with last week when Willy Paul was asked about the Diana story and he laughed it off and he tried to make a joke about it and asked her to then consult her husband about how the music industry is tough and all of that. So it could just be a retaliation situation from either party.
And Bahati and Willy Paul have always been beefing.
Yes, from either parties. So it's a lot of people trying to make sure that they have the last word. And then ultimately there is the fact that we've seen this happening in the industry. For you to be able to become a prosperous person, or for you to be able to become prosperous in the music industry, not just here, but everywhere in the world, you have to have a rival. You have to be coming for someone who's been in the industry for a while, and then people are like, ooh, he came for the queen, she came for the queen. Think about Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. Wasn't that the whole story? We know about their beef for a while. They seem to be beefing. And even they didn't know that they were beefing. You know what I mean? It's like everyone's trying to bat each other's heads against each other so that we can be able to create traction for your music. And if this is what is trending, or this is what is causing you to get more coverage, you to get more people talking about you, then fine, let's do it, as long as you get the numbers, right? But at the end of the day, it's a very, I say this, I've said this many times, especially this week. I feel like you're taking away credit from people who actually have now actual issues with Willy Paul. If this is not true, if this is just for clout, imagine how many people you're silencing. How many voices are you silencing in the name of trying to gain traction? And Willy Paul, if this is true, how many times do you think you're going to get away with it? Because these are many, many women who've accused you of the same thing.
True.
Yes, most of them within the music industry, but at the end of the day, this is the kind of interaction that you have. You're a you have a music label, and obviously people who come, as in the things are adding up, and at the same time, things are not adding up. We're not sure who to believe. At this moment, it's all alleged. We can't say this one did that. We can't really point a finger. But at the end of the day, think about the people that you're going to silence. Think about the fact that now everyone's coming out to these rape and sexual assault cases, and men are actually starting to become very confident and say that think about the facts. Have you ever seen a man complaining about da-da-da-da-da-da? Have you ever seen da-da-da-da-da-da? A lot of women are coming at people who are successful in the name of sexual assault. So you see, it starts to work against us more than it does for us.
Yeah,
Let's try and be sensible about this. And if it is true that this is happening, please let justice take its due course in the proper channels. Let the public not be the place where you're coming to fight your battles, okay?
True.